I'm distributing a recent newspaper, and I want you to turn to the next to the last page and read the editorial on page 14. It's all about taxes. It's important for you to learn different opinions on taxes, for they are informative. And by reading different opinions, you can learn from others.
Did you catch the teacher there introducing the lesson? That's a good thing to do for any lesson, whether it's one that is brand new or one that is a review of previous instruction. It's always best for the teacher to tell the students what they will be experiencing in the lesson so that there are no surprises. If there are a lot of surprises, chances are you'll have a lot of inappropriate behavior.
You'll have to pay taxes throughout your lives, and it's not something that you can avoid. You know the old saying, the only thing that you know for certain in life is death and taxes.
Did you catch that student on the front row on the left side, obviously not paying attention? The student was totally off task, looking at the ceiling. The teacher could have said something or should have said something to him and said, "Ralph, or Bill, or John, you know, I have assigned you this task to read this newspaper. Why don't you begin reading that task now?" When students waste time like that, they're obviously not academically engaged, and you want students to be academically engaged as much as possible so that they obtain the lesson, they obtain the learning that you want them to acquire.
Why do we have to read this junk? Well, this is so stupid.
Be quiet. No talking without teacher permission. Don't you know the rules? What's wrong with you? Now turn to page 14 and read silently, and when everyone is finished, we'll talk about what you think. Good job, Susan. I really like the way that you're working on what I asked. Keep it up.
Did you catch the teacher here reinforcing the student for appropriate behavior? When students are engaged in appropriate behavior, an effective teacher catches them being good and reinforces them for doing what he or she wants. That would be one of the golden rules I would recommend any teacher employ in the classroom. Catch kids being good, reinforce them genuinely for behaving appropriately, and chances are that'll set the stage for future appropriate behavior to occur again and again.
Yes, Jane.
I just wanted to remind you that I have to leave 10 minutes early to go meet with another teacher.
Okay, thank you for reminding me.
My pleasure.
That's it. I am tired of your disobedience. Go to the principal's office and wait for me there until the end of class. You will be suspended from school if I have anything to do about it.
You can suspend me, I don't care. I don't know who you think you is. I'm tired of you. I should drop your class anyway.
The next person I catch seriously misbehaving is going to the office too. So you better read your editorial silently, and when everyone is finished, we'll discuss its meaning.
Did you catch the teacher here obviously yelling at the student and being condescending toward him and sending him to the principal's office instead of dealing with the problem right there in her classroom? That's obviously not a good thing. Do not take students' behavior personally. You always want to be on an even keel, not get upset, not take things personally, deal with the inappropriate behavior in a manner that is professional, and then immediately get back to the instruction or get back to observing and monitoring the other students in the class. Sending a student to the principal's office time and time and time again is not the most effective thing to do. An effective teacher tries to control things in his or her classroom environment, and for serious inappropriate behavior, and I would not call throwing the newspaper serious inappropriate behavior. It's certainly disrespect, but not serious inappropriate behavior where someone is physically endangered. The teacher should deal with it professionally, quickly, don't take it personally, and move on to the next task. Did you catch the student getting out of his seat? Well, you obviously know that's not a good thing. Students should not be getting out of their seat without teacher permission. And what the teacher could do is the first time, perhaps the teacher could ignore it. But if it continues to occur from after the first time to the second time, third time, fourth time, the teacher has to step in and say, Ralph, John, Bill, please get back to your seat. You know that's not appropriate. The classroom rules state that you should be in your seat. Please stay in your seat as much as possible.
Thank you for sitting in your seat, not getting out of your seat, and doing what I asked. Because you are behaving appropriately, you will receive 5 extra bonus points on the next quiz. Thank you for your cooperation.
Did you catch what the teacher just did when she reinforced the student for the wrong behavior? The student was looking around, looking at the ceiling, did not engage with the task that was assigned by the teacher, and yet the teacher walked up to him and said she liked the way that he was doing what the teacher told him to do. That is obviously an incorrect and inappropriate teacher behavior, because you would not want to reinforce a student engaged in inappropriate behavior. The only time you would want to reinforce a student would be when he or she is engaged in appropriate classroom behavior.
Okay, folks, put down the newspapers and let's discuss the content of the editorial on taxes. What did you think of the author's statement